know it wasn't tradition and you didn't see each other for a while. All you had to go on was what was expressed from within.
Yeah.
And that's what builds a relationship. Good.
Oh, this must be Kwame's sister.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love when a participant has a supportive family. Hey there, it's Valerie. Welcome back. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love is Blind, Season 4, Episode 11. So the episode starts off with Kwame and Chelsea sort of having a conversation because Chelsea's upset because Kwame told her that once they get married, she cannot take his surname until Kwame has spoken to his mother and has got his mother's approval. It's like I don't get that. I don't get that. Why does the mother need to approve her sort of taking his surname? I don't know. I don't know Ghanaian culture, so I can't comment on that. If anyone knows anything, please leave a comment. So they then start talking about the fact that Kwame was also saying that he's worried that in their first year of marriage, they're going to be facing a lot of challenges because, Kwame is going to have to relocate, he's going to have to find new friends. He's always been saying this since the start of their marriage that he seems to be the one who's doing a lot of compromise, and Chelsea's remaining in her comfort zone. It doesn't seem like she's giving anything up, and he was sort of saying he's worried that their first year of marriage might not run as smoothly as they would want it to run. And Chelsea is upset because she thinks he's focusing on the wrong things. And it's like, he is right to sort of question that. He is right because, you are coming together. You barely know each other. You've dated for a month and then now you're getting married. So he is right to have concerns that things might not work out. I'm sorry, but they have very bad communication. They should take a leaf out of Bliss and Zach's page. They're always talking. That way, they're always on the same page, and their relationship seems to run smoother just because they're very open about everything, and they always make sure they address everything. Whereas Chelsea, it seems like she is so in this space whereby she's so in love with Kwame. She wants to marry Kwame, and she doesn't want to give him an excuse to say no on wedding day. Bliss and Zach are on their date. And I think they complained bitterly about being cold on the boat. So the producers put them in a heated, I don't know whether it was a pool or whatever, we only saw one little corner of it. And so they were having a conversation about their worries because, the wedding is coming up and they're sort of trying to see if they're both on the same page and how they're going to move forward. And I like how they've managed to minimize the issues with Bliss's dad because they joked about it because Zach was saying, it seems we've got a very strong bond, and Bliss was like, you should have told my dad how long that has that bond was created over, and then he would have thought we're crazy. And so it's nice to see that as uncomfortable as Zach seemed when she initially said it, once she sort of started laughing about it, he loosened up, and I think they've found a way to move forward from that. Obviously, they did have a conversation about their connection and how strong it is and how it seems to be growing. I think this is the difference with having an amazing partner or someone who sort of matches your energy. Because Zach, when he was with Irena, he was always very tense and he looked very uncomfortable, and everybody was saying, "Oh, he's very awkward." But with Bliss, he's comfortable in his own skin. He is happy. You can see he's in love. The way he comes across like a man in love, and the way he was sort of accommodating to her. I said it before, and I'll say it again. Bliss is the best partner for Zach because no matter how Irena tried, she wouldn't have matched him because they were having this conversation, and sort of Zach was sort of saying, "Oh, but," and Bliss was quick to say, "Are you trying to negate your point that you said before?" And this, I think, is what he likes in Bliss because he said he was attracted to her brain because I think she's able to challenge his mind and sort of his thought process without offending him. And I think this is one of the things that he really loves about her because he's said this countless times that he loves her brain. Obviously, he was trying to reassure her. We did hear him tell Paul that if you love someone, you need to make sure that you reassure them, you tell them you love them every single day, not once a week or whatever. So he was reassuring to Bliss that I told you I'm committed to you. I'm not looking at anybody else. And I have made my mind up to say I am going to marry you, and that is what I'm saying. And Bliss was, no, but you can't just go ahead with something. So I sort of understand where Bliss was coming from. I think because she's worried that when he was in the pods and he made a decision to propose to Irena, and he realized once he broke up with Bliss that no, he was so in love with Bliss and he really wanted her back. But because he had told himself that he's proposing to Irena, he couldn't sort of stop himself from proposing to Irena. He still went ahead with that decision. So I think this is why she was saying to him, I need you to do something to say, if you're going to say yes to me, say yes because it feels right to you, and that way, you are happy and I am happy because it's in both our best interest. I don't want you to say yes just because this is what you've decided to do and you don't want to change your mind. So I sort of get that point of her. It was lovely seeing Brett's brother and his dad meet Tiffany, and how I like the dad's sense of humor and the fact that Brett said, it's been a while since his dad has been on an aeroplane and he felt the need to come and support his son. I loved this. I loved this. And they did ask, what is it that attracted you to Brett? Tiffany said she liked his quiet confidence. She liked the fact that he grounds her and is very supportive. And these are great qualities that Brett has. Brett is ready to get married. He is ready to get married, and so it's I'm happy that he found somebody as well who's happy to get married, and so they will make a good couple, as the father said. But some of the questions his brother was asking, like he was asking her about her background, sort of what were you lower, upper, or middle class, and she didn't come out and say exactly where she stood on that scale. She said her parents, came from nothing and they had to work hard to give them everything that they wanted. But I didn't get a clear picture to that question. And then I liked his dad giving them their blessing, saying, listening to the two of you, it's good to see you've got a great connection and I really like you for one another. I like the wisdom that family members bring to the show when they're sort of speaking with their loved ones. Like the dad was appreciative of the fact that they met in the pods, they didn't get to see what the other person looked like. So because they connected in that way, their connection would last longer because even when their looks faded, they would still have the connection that attracted them to the other person in the first place, which I thought was very sound advice. Mike and Paul, I don't know why they're still there. I think Mike and Paul should have split up. I don't see them saying yes on wedding day. Anyway, Paul was packing up because apparently it was the day before the wedding, so he was supposed to leave Micah in their apartment and so that he wouldn't see the bride the night before the wedding. And Mike, they were talking about, oh, we're really going to miss each other because we're always everywhere together. If one is in the toilet, the other person is shouting for them or sending a text message. And it's like, I wish you were as in love as you're making out. I don't think you're as in love as you're playing out. You really don't need to convince us. So Paul then packed his stuff and left the apartment, and Micah was saying she's upset, she's going to miss him, or she's never been away from him. And it's just like, the words coming out of your mouth are not sort of on par with your actions. I think he should have done what Zach did. He should have gone back to Amber because I truly believe that Micah and Irena manipulated these guys to propose to them because they knew they were the weakest targets. The girls were excited. Chelsea was dancing her butt off, and I like the fact that Tiffany said Chelsea is always very loud, and Chelsea wore that as a badge of honor. She was dancing. He eventually got Tiffany on the stage, and they were both dancing, and people were throwing money. And it was nice to see Bliss brought her sister. And so the guys had this lady that was dancing. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't know why they brought in someone who was a bit older. I don't know whether the producers were being a bit shady or a bit messy in the sense that Brett asked, Zach, oh, we're here, are you not coming to see the burlesque dance? And Zach was like, nah, I'm fine. And, in his confessional, he said, my mother was a stripper, so that's not my kind of thing. That's not my cup of tea. And I think people were saying, oh, how dare he sort of dig out. He said he had no opinion about the people in the sex trade or strippers, just because I think him refusing to sort of participate was sort of, this is something that he might have seen as a kid, and because of that he doesn't want to participate in that. And if the producers really wanted him to participate, why didn't they bring some people that were a lot younger than that? I think that was messy and shady, and I like the fact that the guys didn't push him, but his friends sat with him and they continued to have a conversation as though they didn't see anything taking place. And I like that Brett or Kwame and Paul didn't come and drag him to say, no, you need to come, you need to come. They respected his wish and left him alone. I think Chelsea's friends are right to be worried that Kwame's mom is not attending the wedding. They are right to be worried, because what does that mean? Does that mean if they have children, she's not even going to get involved in her grandchildren's life? What does that mean? Is she not willing to sort of get involved because she doesn't like the idea that Kwame is marrying someone who's not Ghanaian, or is it because she just does not want to be on camera? I didn't quite get that. I think Chelsea said this because she wants Kwame to marry a Ghanaian. I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't know. Kwame on his part obviously is broken, because he does love Chelsea, but the problem is his mother is not coming to his wedding, and this is something that is heartbreaking for him. And it's sad to see that, if his mom didn't want to come to the wedding, she should have tried and stopped. She should have had a conversation with him before he sort of started participating in the show, because the likelihood of him finding a Canadian person on the show were very unlikely. So I don't know why she allowed him, not allowed because he's an adult. I don't know why she didn't sort of express her opinion about him appearing on Love is Blind before he went on the show. That way it would have saved all this mess. And I loved Zach's conversation with his friends, because his friends were trying to ask, so what is it about Bliss that you like that makes you feel she's the right person? And he said, there are a lot of things that have been happening that just sort of led me to believe that she is the one, because he spoke about his favorite song, the one that they both said their moms played for them. And then he spoke about Bliss telling him that she had a dream about an owl coming to give her peace. And the friends, their faces just dropped, because apparently that's Zach's favorite animal. And so when he was telling them that, she has all the qualities I'm looking for in a partner, the friend was like, okay, nothing, we don't need to hear anything else, because we know how particular you are sort of, you do a lot of research, even if you want to change milk or toilet paper or whatever. So if you're telling us that she is the one, then we believe you. And I have to give it to Zach, because every time he's spoken about, I know he criticized Irena when they were still in the pod, saying she's a bit childish and blah, but every time he's spoken about Bliss, he's always spoken about her highly. In the pods, when he was talking to the other guys, when he was speaking to Paul or to Marshall, he spoke highly of Bliss and all the qualities that she had. Every time he spoke to Paul, he's talked about the good qualities that Bliss has, and now he's speaking to his friends. So I think subconsciously Zach knew he really loved Bliss, and he knew she was the one for him. Yes, he had his fears that made him choose somebody else, but I think because of because of the way he speaks about her, I believe that he knew she's the woman he was going to marry, even though he proposed to somebody else. And I think this is why he was telling her in the poll that, I'm not going to look at anybody else. You are it for me. I'm not interested in anybody else. Bliss's conversation with her sister is everything. It's everything. Because Bliss's sister was saying exactly the same things that Kwame was trying to tell Chelsea, in the fact that she told Bliss, the two of you both need to be happy in your relationship. You can't just, compromise and just say, as long as Zach is happy, I'll be fine. Or Zach say, as long as Bliss is happy, I'll be fine. And you need to make sure that your communication is on par. And Bliss started laughing with, we always talk. We're always talking. And because we're very logical thinkers and we focus on data, we are always, talking. So communication is not an issue for us. And so I think her sister was just trying to get her prepared and telling her that, as much as you may use your logic, just make sure everything feels right. In her confessional, she was talking about Zach. I think everybody in the pods knew that Bliss loved Zach, and that was it for her. I think this is why she didn't get a proposal from anybody else, because I don't understand why no other guy was interested in her, unless there were guys that were interested in her, but because it didn't sort of align with the story that was being told. This is why we were never told about them. In her confessional, she said, I really love Zach. I don't know that I'm ready for marriage, but I know that I've never loved anyone the way I love him, and that he is my person. And she's always said this, that he is my person. Even her mother said Bliss feels that Zach is her soulmate. So I really wish them the best. I really hope, they do say yes on wedding day. Oh, listening to Brett talk is so sweet. He's being asked what makes you feel you're in love with Tiffany, and we're saying, I worry about her happiness. I worry about whether I want to know whether she'll be a great mother and whatever. And I think he displayed this when Tiffany was spiraling about the wedding, and he sort of took her out on a date just to sort of get her mind away from wedding day and event planning and everything else. He just wanted her to distress, and I think that helped her a lot. I think he's an amazing partner. I'm going to repeat this. Brett is an amazing partner who is ready for marriage, and I think even his friends and family can recognize that he's ready for marriage. And I think in Tiffany, he's found the woman he's been waiting for. Tiffany, on her part, she continues to repeat that she's found her match, because he is able to sort of help sort of steady her when she's spiraling out of control. He is caring, he's loving. So I see them as a perfect match. I've always said this, that they are the couple that's going to be drama free, because in every season of Love is Blind, it seems there's always that one couple that is not as toxic as the rest. Paul, was speaking to his friends about data and how he feels about Micah. I don't think he's as in love as he thinks he is. I think he might be in like, because every time he's asked, "Do you love her?" he says, "I think I love her." He's never said, "I love her." He's always saying, you know, "I think I love her." This is it's different to people like Zach or Brett who will say, "I love Tiffany, I love Bliss, I love Chelsea." He's always saying, "I think I love her." The fact that Micah and her friends decided to dial Paul didn't make any sense. I think this is the reason why he's going to say no. I think this is the reason why he's going to say no, because the way Micah was on the phone, she was slozzled, and she was FaceTiming him because she was saying she misses him. She hasn't spoken to him in a while. I didn't get that. You could tell that Zach and company who were there felt very uncomfortable about it. But I think it was a bit too much. I think it was a bit too much. I don't know why they did all that. I don't even know why Shelby was there. I don't know why she keeps bringing this friend of hers. I don't know. As I've said before, I think she's bringing her friend just so she can use her as an excuse for why she said no to Paul on wedding day. I don't think Micah is going to say yes. I think she's bringing her friend along, and she's going to use her friend as an excuse as to why she didn't say yes to Paul, because I don't think she's as in love with Paul as she makes out. And this is her friend. If she really loved Paul, she would have pulled her friend aside and said, "Don't say that about my fiance. Don't say that to the cameras. I really don't like it, because you are upsetting me." But she's just quiet, and she's just allowing her friend to run around, have these confessionals. "Oh, I don't think Paul is it for her." It's like, it's none of your business whether he is it or not. It's none of your business. So Chelsea and Kwame are the first couple to get married, and for me, I was very uncomfortable when Chelsea was getting ready, and everybody was asking about Kwame's family, and she was sort of saying his sister and brother are going to attend, but his mother and dad are not, and you could see everybody in the room was very uncomfortable. Everybody was uncomfortable. I think for them, they're sort of saying, this might not be a good idea, but because Chelsea's happy, this is why they've just decided to support her and allow her to be. And so Kwame, on his part, was still talking to his friends about his mom, and then his brother and sister came in, and his sister brightens the room for him because she was very bubbly, and sort of she spoke about their childhood and how she and Kwame, were very close, and they even shared a bed and stuff. So it was nice that at least somebody turned up, and they did say that his dad knew that Kwame was getting married, which was good. But I still felt sorry for them. I like the fact that his brother prayed for them, and sort of they acted as his support, sort of like, I think, as his mother and father on his big day. And they spoke about how the last time they'd had a picture taken was at his sister's wedding. And for me, I don't get why the mother is really not on board with this. I really don't get why she's not on board, and I don't get why, if it was that bad, she didn't stop him from, put, proceeding further with this event. Obviously, his sister went and saw Chelsea, and you could see as soon as the sister came and she was bubbling in the room, the mood lightened. I think because everybody was very anxious and nobody wanted to be the bad guy to sort of say maybe this is not a good idea, because as soon as Kwame's sister walked in and she gave her a present, sort of a little sort of not a tote bag, a little purse. Everybody was excited. Everybody was excited. I think they were relieved that at least Kwame had somebody on board, and I think they were worried that his parents were not there, but they didn't know how to tell Chelsea that this might not be a good idea. I think as a family, they were just going to stand there and support her, and if things fell apart, they were there to pick up the pieces, but they couldn't say to her, maybe it's not a good idea for you and Kwame to get married. So I think seeing his sister is what sort of lightened the mood and allowed everybody to sort of breathe a sigh of relief. Um, her dress looked amazing. I loved her dress. I loved her whole sort of setup. I thought she looked beautiful. I liked Kwame's suit. I thought he looked amazing as well. I liked the fact that his sister was sort of asking him, "Where is your wedding vows and stuff?" And he said, "I'll bring it." I think he's highly intelligent. I loved it because Chelsea read through her wedding vows, and he then just said, "I know how I feel about you, so I'm going to tell you how I feel." And oh my God, it brought tears to her eyes because he was able to describe her and how she made him feel in the pods, and how that feeling sort of transcended to today when they're going to get married. And Chelsea has said yes, so we're waiting to hear what Kwame says. I have a feeling he's going to say yes as well, because I don't know. I think regardless of everything, I think he is in love with Chelsea, and I think he's going to say yes, and then he'll sort out the issues with his family. I think Kwame hasn't had a great edit. Yes, he has sort of messed up in times, like his conversations with Michael, but I don't think the edits have favored him in any way. Anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.